Antonio. I just wanted to give everybody a recap of my last bump, man. Felt good, felt comfortable, felt strong as shit at 135. I want to thank Al Burn. I gotta thank my man Charlie, PBC. Big shout out to Hugo Castaneda and his whole team, man. His team, you know, they was real professional. They came to fight. You know, they ain't come to lay down, man. They represented well, man. So hats off to him, man, and hopefully he's okay. You know, but stay tuned, man. Back, man. Little bro about to go up next, man. That's not time.
What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Gary Russell Jr. in the news, man. And Gary Russell is now officially, you know, he's making himself noticed, man. He's doing exactly what I said he should have been doing a few years back. Gary Russell, if you don't know, or you should know, he recently made his return back to the sport on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. Sorry, I just had a brain fart for a second. But anyways, on the undercard of Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios, where, you know, he came back after 3.5 years, which, you know, actually up until recently, he was even in doubt whether he would come back or not. You know, I still remember interviews from earlier this year, you know, saying he didn't know if he was sure because his arm would never be the same again, right? Now, he came back, and I'm going to tell you why I'm glad why he's in the right, step in the right direction if he's pushing for a fight with Tank or a fight with Lamont, Roach, any of these guys at 135. Because regardless, even though, yes, we don't know, the opponent that he fought was not on a world championship level, is still a push in the right direction because he's actually fighting and he's campaigning in that weight class now. At the time, I was a little upset with Gary Russell because although I would have loved to seen him against Tank Davis because I think that his skills can match up well with anybody. Excuse me. He didn't do me or anybody any favor, anybody that's pushing for that fight any favors by going the route that he was going. While I would have loved to seen it, I would have had no argument to stand on at the time because it's plenty of factors that can go in as to why Tank shouldn't fight him. One being that they fight in two completely different weight classes. Two being that Gary Russell is very inactive, right? But with him, and I've always felt like, you know, listen, even if the big names don't want to fight you, bro, still get yourself active. Even if he fights guys like his last opponent, right? If he fights 3 of those per year, right now, knowing that now we know that he's with the PBC, so that's not gonna really happen. But if he fights 3 of those guys per year or whatnot, you know, at some point, you know, he'll get his name, his self, you know, pushed up with the rankings, the organizations. He'll, you know, at some point he's going to he'll have one of those guys will have to see him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so this is a step in the right direction. Now, was this a statement fight? No. It was a comeback fight, right? And I thought he looked wonderful. Now, be it granted, yes, the person that he fought, you know, you got to take that into consideration as well. However, bro, the man, he's on the right track. Now, as far as I think Gary Russell is now 37 or whatnot, so, you know, but he keeps himself in shape, as you can see. Even when he weighed in, I think he weighed in at like 131 or something like that. But, you know, time is not going to all the way be on his side. But I'm sure, you know, I think this is good for him, bro. And, you know, it's definitely work up there at 135 pounds for Gary Russell. Not even just Tank Davis. You know, let's look at the whole division in itself. And when we look in the division, we'll talk about fights that are more possible than others. All right, so let's see here. Go to 135. I don't know if I don't think he's ranked anywhere at 135 pounds, but we'll still look at the options, right? 135. Raymond Maratalo or whatever. I don't really know too much about him. I know he's undefeated. I'm not all the way impressed with him yet, but that's I don't know. I forgot who he signed with. But you got he holds the IBF title. You got Andy Cruz, who's right there. Andy Cruz could probably take that title from dude. So you got Andy Cruz at 135. You got Floyd Schofield. That's a hell of a fight, right? You got Mark Masayo. You can get your rematch with that. Sam Noakes or whatever. I think he's finna fight. He's finna fight Abdullah Mason. But you got Lucas Body. If y'all don't know who that is, that's the dude that slept H2O. Ashton, I can't think of his last name, but Ashton was outboxing the hell out of him and beating him that whole fight, and then he just got slept. It only takes one punch. You got Maxie Hughes. You got Abdullah Mason. You got obviously Gervonta Davis. Now, both of them being with the PBC. Well, I don't know, because I think Tank has issues with the PBC right now, if I'm being honest. So I don't think that fight is going to ever be made, though, if I'm being honest. I don't think that fight is ever going to be made. You got, let me see, Shakur Stevenson. You got Williams Zepeda, even though he's coming off of a loss to Shakur. You got Dizzy Barechik, who just fought Keyshawn and lost to Keyshawn. You got what's the dude's name that Edwin De Los Santos? Let me see. You got Abdullah Mason. Because I think it's safe to say Keyshawn is finna move up to 140. But you got Abdullah Mason. You definitely got options. You definitely got options or whatnot at 135. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think he can beat him and Floyd Schofield. Will be a really good fight. I think with two hands he'll beat Mark Masayo. I have no doubts about that at all. Lucas Bade, I think he could beat him. Now I don't know how possible those fights are because they have two separate promotional teams, but Maxie Hughes, I think he could beat him. Abdullah Mason, that's gonna be a tough one. But Abdullah Mason is still young. But you got Andy Cruz, that'll be a good fight. Josh Padley, I think he stops him. I think Gary Russell stops Josh Padley. Raymond Maratala, I think that's a good fight. He can definitely win that fight. I don't think he beats this version of Shakur Stevenson. I'm gonna be honest with you. Shakur knows how to use his range, and Gary Russell, I don't think he can beat Shakur at this stage. Not right now, at least. Joe Cordina, I think he could beat him. I think Gary Russell can beat Joe Cordina. Rayo, I think, because they got Rayo ranked at number 5. I think Gary Russell could beat Rayo. Ricardo Nunes, I think he beats Ricardo Nunes. I think he beats Sam Noakes or whatever. I think Williams Zepeda is definitely. I think that Gary Russell is definitely more skilled than Williams Zepeda, but that's a good fight. Hell, even getting there with what's the Tevin Farmer. I think he beats Tevin Farmer. It's definitely some winnable fights at 135. And could he become a champion at 135? It's definitely possible. I can see it being possible. So I mean, bro, listen. I've always admired Gary Russell's talents. I ain't even mentioned Lamont Roach in that picture. Like, go ahead and get a fight with Lamont Roach. They have some, back and forth anyways, and then they're both from the same area. I would love for that to happen. I know Lamont Roach has called out Gary Antoine Russell, and I don't like when people do that, bro. Lamont Roach, you fight at 135 or 130. You haven't even competed at 140. Like, stop trying to put yourself in positions where it's like a win-win for you. Like, oh, if I can call out Gary Antoine Russell, and if he don't fight me, I can say he didn't fight me. If he does fight me and I lose, I moved up to his weight class to fight him. Like, I just don't like when fighters do that. Like, come on, bro, stick to fighters in your weight class, bro. Which Gary Russell now competes in. So You know, go ahead and fight dude. I'd love to see that. Y'all already had your back and forth. Make that fight happen, but it's no purpose of him fighting Gary Antoine Russell. But you know, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Gary Russell. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Gary Russell, and he needs to stay active, man. But the only problem with that is no PBC fighters are active. So he needs to be in a situation where I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of them need to leave the PBC. PBC is not doing good for the fighters anymore, and I don't want it to be a situation where Gary Russell is fighting this time and then he turns around and we don't see him until like May of next year, or you know, I like, bro, he needs to be active. And even if he's fighting on like what do you call them? Even if he's fighting on I always have a hard time saying this, preliminary fights or preliminary cards. Like, go ahead and let him fight on them cards, bro, but keep him active. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Who do you want to see Gary Russell fight next? Who do you think he could beat at 135? Do you want to continue to see Gary Russell? But what do I know?